many things going on in the sector. We've had the regulator here, we're talking net zero, and you all know this stuff because you're all brilliant, you're experts, it's what you do. So what I'm going to do is talk about how I feel. I'm going to be a bit emotional. How I feel about the sector and how I feel about the world generally. So initially I'll start with what I'm not happy about. There's a lot of things that I'm not happy about, and some of these you may be able to relate to, or you may have heard about. So I'll start with poverty. I'm very disappointed and I'm very unhappy that there's so many people living in poverty, in a country that is very affluent, a country where we have lots of money. I was going to say more about that. Lots of wealthy people, and lots of people, because of the cost of living, can barely afford to pay their bills, are struggling to live, and are generally stressed out, and that really upsets me, and I'm unhappy about that. And I'm happy that there's still so many homeless people. Those of us in the sector have been working for years and years and years. I was involved in what was called the RSI initiative in the 90s. Anyone remember that? We thought we'd solved the problem at the time, and it's 2023 and there's still so many more homeless people. And what I find even more shocking is the fact there's so many homeless women. You never saw homeless women, rough sleepers in the 90s. The other thing I'm not happy about is that many of you in this room today are not members of the Chartered Institute of Housing, which is a bad thing. No, seriously, I've been speaking a lot to housing organisations over the last year and a half, and every time I speak, I ask people to, by show of hands, who are members. And in most organisations, there are less members than there are non-members, and I think it's shocking. So I will continue and forever say, if you're working in the sector, join the professional body. I'll come back to that in a minute. Another thing I'm very unhappy about is the fact that it took the death of a young black boy for us to take damp and mould seriously, for us to accept that damp and mould is not about a lifestyle choice, it's about the structure and the quality and the maintenance of our properties. That really upsets me. I'm very, very, very upset about our reputation. We do brilliant work. The work that we do is essential. Yet our reputation is sort of somewhere between estate agent and politician. No offense. We're the good guys. How did our reputation become so bad? We know why. Because of the things like damp and mould, and my friends who aren't in the sector said, oh, you actually just kill your tenants, that's what you do. That's our reputation, that's appalling. I'm also unhappy that we got to a place where we needed to have a thing called the Better Social Housing Review. The review in itself is a good thing, but the reason that we got there, it was a reaction to the bad publicity we're getting. I don't think we should be in a world where we needed to have the Better Social Housing Review. The reason that got us there, I'm very upset about. On a general level, I love housing, I think homes are important, and part of me is very upset that we consider homes in this country as a financial asset rather than a basic human right. That upsets me. I'm also upset about Windrush. I told you this was personal. I'm very, very upset that Windrush ever happened. As the child of Windrush parents who came here in the 60s, my mum worked as a nurse in the NHS, my dad was a bus driver, and worked in factories, and that's a very common story of immigrants who came in the 60s and 50s from the Commonwealth. I personally felt that the sector did nothing to help their staff and tenants who were affected at the time. Many of us evicted Windrush tenants, and many of us sacked our staff who suffered at the time. So I'm very disappointed the sector did not stand up and support people like my family at the time, and I'm disappointed that it happened in the first place. Another thing that I'm really upset about is the language that we use that's common parlance at the moment with regards to refugees and asylum seekers. And again, I speak on a very personal level. I am the daughter of immigrants, and immigrants bring a lot to society. Migration works both ways. Some of you may have heard on the news today that the Australian